Yo, what's good, Tristan? Today we're going to be reacting to, I almost said Oprah. We're going to be reacting to Adele singing. I don't know what song yet because I haven't watched this yet, but she did some sort of a concert thing. I guess Oprah was there. Look, I don't know the deal, but we're going to watch it, and it'll be in the title of this video, which one we're reacting to. I'm going to react to all of them, probably in separate videos. But before we get started, be sure to check me out. Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. Also, I'm teaching lessons. Links that down in the description. Let's just jump into this.
You have a front row seat to a very special one night only concert.
Oh, get that claw out of my face. Oh my. I feel like she's about to cast goddamn lightning bolt at me.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
Adele!
Okay. Dude, I would kill to be there. Ah! She's got her tea up on stage. All right, let's see. Before it even starts, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be so curious to hear how she sings this.
Hello, it's me.
Hey, what up?
I was wondering
This is perfect
if
for the
after all
intro.
these years you'd like to meet to go over
Hell yeah, girl, now that you're divorced.
everything.
About to slide right in there. Okay.
They say the time's supposed to heal well, but I ain't done much healing.
Woo!
Hello,
Ah!
can you hear me?
Oh.
I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free.
So nice hearing her sing a full song live.
I've forgotten how we felt before the world fell at our feet. There's such
What are those
a
earrings? I want those. Holy shit.
between us and a million miles.
Here we go.
Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I called,
Sorry, I was very focused there for a minute.
seem to be whole. Hello from the outside.
So here's my thought. I can't tell if there's a little bit of pitch correction on this or if she just hit those notes so clean, so perfectly that, yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts at the moment. So real quick, I just got to say, even if there was some pitch correction put on in production here, it's kind of just a standard thing that's done to vocals a lot of times these days, even live performances. So it doesn't bother me too much, especially because I just reacted to a video of her singing just straight up into her laptop microphone, and she sounds fantastic. However, I only hear pitch correction on some notes in some of the choruses, and to my ears, it goes away as the song progresses. But be sure you listen to the end and let me know what you think down below.
To tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter. It clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore.
She sounds so flawless, though. I want to focus on this next chorus more intently and just not get so lost in her sound.
It's so typical of me to talk about myself. I'm sorry. I hope that you will.
I really want to pull up really quickly here, actually. I feel like this is one of the cleanest performances I've heard her do of this song.
I was wondering if after all
I thought so. Okay, I thought so.
I'm in California dreaming.
And it's a lot of what I've said. If you've seen any of my previous Adele videos, a lot of my previous assumptions about her voice so far, I think, are turning out to be correct. Her voice is more restrained and contained, right? It's less open sounding. In some ways, it's less clear. But she's actually singing louder here than I actually thought she would. But anyway, let's continue. I want to analyze the high notes a little bit better.
It's no secret.
Oh, her phrasing is so smooth.
The both of us are running out of time.
She's controlling all of this chorus. I mean, this verse so well.
So hello from the other side.
Dude, this is so clean.
Everything that I've done when I call you side.
And actually, the way that she's singing those high notes is baffling to me because they are very open sounding, right? And I said that I thought her voice would be more restrained and more dark. It's open sounding and bright. So it's making my brain a little bit confused. So I want to do another comparison to how she used to sing that note.
I've called 1,000 times.
I think her approach on that note is essentially the same. It's still a little bit restrained, I think.
I couldn't say that I've tried.
Because she's going, that I've tried. There's this little bit of a, right? There's a little bit of that held quality to it. But it seems like she did that before as well. But that was there prior as well. So I think for the most part, actually, her high notes are almost exactly the same, which is actually, if you've seen any of my videos before, fairly common technique when singers are changing elements of their voice. Clearly, her low range has changed. It's gotten darker, a little bit less open sounding. But one great technique to do when you're singing is if you are trying to change the style of your voice, you can just change the low notes and then have the high notes basically sound the same as they did before. Because as long as the high notes are sort of bright and properly twanged and they're sitting in a nice spot in your voice and the pitch is great, you can leave them alone. And the audience will have the perception that everything is darker, when in reality, only the notes, her lower mid-range is dark, whereas her high notes are basically the same so far. It's a great trick because I can go very light, right? And you're like, oh, that's very light sound. But then if I keep the high note exactly the same, but I change the low notes, you get the idea, right? The high note was similar lightness, similar brightness, but it sounded darker because I darkened the notes leading up to it.
Breaking your heart, but it
I'm so
don't
hyped.
matter. It clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore.
This is perfect, dude.
Hello,
What up?
how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
So typical of me to talk about myself.
Oh,
I'm
go on,
sorry.
girl. It's all good.
I hope
I've been waiting to hear from you.
that you will. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing there?
Nah, I'm still here, girl.
It's no secret.
Sorry. Just the way she's singing that is so natural. It is almost like she's just talking. It feels normal to respond to her.
I'm running out of time.
She's doing a lot of these movements too. This is something I work on with students when I'm trying to get them to get a little bit more of a held sound, if that's what they're going for. So instead of like a which is like more of an outward sound, running out of time, to get it to sort of suck in, can be helpful to do these like movements, which I'm seeing her do as well. And usually singers don't do things by accident. They're doing these things because it helps remind them of their technique, whether they know it or not.
Oh, hello from the other side.
And sorry, with that, I could be completely wrong, but I'm just going to give you my open interpretation of this movement as she goes into the chorus, right? Because she's not so much holding those high notes as much as she is in the lower range. She is a little bit, but not so much. There's a lot of release on them. And this is something that people sometimes mistake when it comes to higher notes, in my opinion, that high notes, you've got to really clench and hold and from the other side and really, do something to make them happen. But sometimes, a lot of times, it's actually more about loosening up and letting things kind of come as they need to come. Granted, the notes leading up to it are good, right? You can't just randomly start doing that because it's not going to sound very good.
I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done when I call you.
All right. Cool.
Seem to be home. Hello from the outside.
Ooh.
At least I can say that I tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter.
Oh my God. Did you hear how deep that low note was?
Clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore.
Dude.
I must have called 1,000 times.
I've also seen some comparisons of how she performed this song in the past as opposed to now. And a big part of what she's doing that makes it work better now, in my opinion, at least in this particular performance, is this position with her mouth. It really helps make those notes feel like they come out way easier than before she was a little bit more round, which can work in the low range. But as you go up in pitch, almost every single singer, pop singer, does that. It's just how it is.
To you, I'm sorry for everything that I've done. When I call, you never seem to be home.
Dude.
Hello from the outside. At least I can say that I've tried.
A little bit of roughness on her voice there.
Sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter. It clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore.
Is she nervous? I feel like I saw her hand shake a little bit there. I would be freaking nervous as hell. But it's crazy how the nerves don't come through. A lot of times you'll be working with a student or you'll be helping someone do performance, like performance coaching type stuff. And they'll talk about how nervous they are, but it actually doesn't come through. Like most of the time, a good question to ask someone in that position is, and maybe even yourself, how nervous were you during that performance from 1 to 10? You might be like, oh my God, 11. And then you ask the audience, how nervous did they think you were? And they might say like maybe 3, 4. So yeah, you do come off as nervous, but it's imperceivable. But there's small little giveaways, like her hand was maybe shaking a little bit. Oh, could be wrong though. A little bit, but I don't know. I could be reading into it way too much. But I think performers are always... Is that Ellen DeGeneres? Is that Seth Rogen? I think performers are always nervous during and before any performance. I think that's just how it is.
Hello.
Okay, anyway. Hopefully you enjoyed my reaction to this. I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to skip through this interview. I'll watch that as another point to her next performance. How many of these are there? Oh my God, we're going to be here all day. Oh yeah. Oh, I've got to do my outro. Until next time, Tristan's Interest Room. Check me out. Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. I love my patrons a lot. Check my link out in the description for voice lessons. Peace out, y'all.